Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Ketubot page 39, which discusses the very sensitive topic of being ma'anis and mafata. More specific, when a man rapes a woman. The Torah has very, very strict parameters, exactly what the requirements are. Now, one of the things it says is that he actually will have to pay an absorbent amount of money for this terrible crime. But strangely enough, the Torah says, V'lo siel isha, that he is able to marry her. And not only that, which of course that sounds strange, why would a woman want to marry this terrible man who rapes her? But then the Torah says also that he is not allowed to divorce her. In other words, he has no ability, even if he wants to remove himself from this marriage. Now, over here it also tells us that it doesn't make any difference who this woman is. Even if she has some type of physical defect of sorts, or something in which is somewhat unattractive, the fact is he is obligated to marry her. Now, again, this is hard to imagine. Rape is one of the worst crimes imaginable, and yet for some reason the Torah seems, in this case, to almost downplay it. He pays some money and he marries her. So over here, the first point, which is extremely important to mention, is she does not have to marry him. She is able to refuse the marriage. Now, in addition to that, her father, if she's still young, also, in addition to her, has the right to refuse, which means that if the girl, for whatever reason, wants to marry this guy, but the father says no, or the father says, yeah, marry him, he's decent, he's still a good guy, and she says, no way, I'm not marrying him. So in that case, the Torah says she does not have to marry him, and she won't marry him. There will still be the huge financial obligation of paying, which is 50 shekalim, to this injured party, but there would be no marriage. So what exactly is the significance of this? Why would the Torah talk about marriage? So we find, when it comes to this horrific crime, of course, not to be able to completely understand such a terrible person, but the mindset is, in addition to it being a sexual desire and experience, it's also a violent act. And it's an act in which the man is trying to dominate and show absolute control over another person, making this woman who is not interested in having sex, forcing himself onto her, is the ultimate level of me being in complete control and having complete dominance over another human being. On this, the Torah says, the punishment is that we want this person to now understand what it feels like to be on the receiving end in some way. And how do we do that? We say, now she is in control. She can marry you. Maybe she won't want to, but it's up to her. It's entirely her choice. If she doesn't want to marry you, she doesn't have to. But if she does, we don't care about what you have to say anymore. You have no power, you have no authority, you have no control. And therefore, if she wants to get married, no matter what, doesn't matter what she looks like, it doesn't matter how you feel, we don't care about what you think. We don't care about what you feel. And therefore, because of that, the marriage will take place. Interestingly enough, normally in a marriage, it's a consensual relationship. And therefore, if the man wants to leave the relationship, he gives a divorce document, he gives a get. However, in this situation, we say no. You are never allowed to leave. If she wants to leave the relationship, she can. And according to one opinion, she'll even receive a ksuba. However, no, you must remain. So the whole notion is to teach people that when you're engaged in any activity, it doesn't have to be as obviously a crime like this, that you are a controlling person, the Torah will punish you by making you understand what it feels like to be controlled.